My boots crunched on the dry grass of my 50-acre ranch in Ranch, Texas. I, Elias Thorne, 42, hydraulic engineer, breathed the clean air of my grandpa's legacy. Amos Thorne's land, fields, wildflowers, a reservoir he built with sweat and stone. Peace was mine until a letter slithered into my mailbox, gold embossed, Stone Creek HOA. My land, free from their grip, was now their target. The letter, crisp, smug, claimed community oversight over my ranch, citing a new county map. My ranch, outside town limits, shielded by Grandpa's old zoning code. No HOA, nothing. Review required. It read, signed, Miranda Hale, President. My blood simmered. Who was she? What was this? I drove to the town hall, deed in my glove box, heart heavy. The meeting buzzed with suits and locals. Miranda Hale stood at a podium, silver hair, sharp smile, like a hawk's beak. Her red blazer screamed power. Her voice, smooth, venomous. Stone Creek expands, she said, projector flashing. My land, carved into grids. 20 Airbnb cottages, planned. My jaw dropped. Stop, I shouted, standing tall. My flannel shirt, dusty from work. This is my land, Dalton Ranch. Since 1923, eyes turned, whispers spread. Miranda's smile didn't waver. Mr. Thorne, she purred. A survey. Error. Corrected. Your land. False. Under our jurisdiction. Now, she slid a map across the table. My fields, swallowed by her lines. I grabbed the map, my hands shaking. This is fake, I said, voice loud. My deed is clear. Miranda's eyes glinted, cold. We sent notices to your registered address, she said, pulling a folder stuffed with papers. No response means consent. My stomach twisted. The address, my grandpa's old cabin, torn down years ago. You knew, I snapped, stepping closer. That address is gone. Her smile sharpened. We use what's on file. Mr. Thorne, it's not our job to chase owners. The crowd murmured, some nodding. With her, a man in a suit clapped. Her back, developer. Vibes oozing. I clutched my deed. Fury rising. I stormed. Drove home. Dust trailing my truck. At the ranch, I walked to the reservoir. It's still water, reflecting clouds. Grandpa's dam, stone and earth, held the valley's heart. I traced its cracks. My engineer's mind racing They couldn't take this. Not legally. Not ever. Next morning, neon stakes dotted my fields like poison. Darts, surveyors, in vests, paced my grass, ignoring me. I marched over boots, heavy, get off my land, I said, voice firm. One smirked. Talk to the HOA. My fists clenched, but I backed off, knowing rash moves would cost me. I called Tom Carver, lawyer, friend, voice steady, but worried. Elias, he said, this smells like fraud. Get proof. I nodded, grabbed my camera, snapped. Stakes, surveyors, a bulldozer, looming nearby. My phone buzzed. A text, unknown number. Meet me at Rusty's Diner, 8 p. Ma, I know. Miranda's game. My pulse quickened at the diner. Neon lights flickered. Grease in the air. Allison West slipped into my booth. Navy suit, tired eyes, brown hair tied back. I worked for Miranda, she whispered, sliding a flash drive across the table. She's stealing land with fake notices. Your grandpa's address. She knew it was void. My jaw tightened. Allison's voice shook. She bribes clerks, counselors, fakes, maps, your land, her Airbnb, gold mine. She tapped the drive, emails, deeds, proof. I pocketed. Mind spinning. Why? Help me, I asked. Eyes on hers. She sighed. I quit when I saw her ruin families. You're my shot at justice. I drove home. Stars bright above my ranch. Miranda thought she'd win with lies, with stakes. She didn't. No. Me. My land. My grandpa's. Them. I plugged in the drive. Emails glowed on my screen. Miranda's orders to forge. Notices. Bribe. Inspectors. My reservoir hummed outside. Its spillway. Quiet. Weapon. I stood by the water. Moonlight on its surface. Grandpa's words echoed. This land fights for us. Miranda's invasion had begun, but I'd fight back with proof, with water, with truth. Her cottages would rise, then fall into my pool. The war was on, and I'd be ready. Dawn broke over my ranch, in Ranch, Texas, painting my 50-acre gold. I stood by Grandpa Amos's reservoir, its water calm, but my heart raged. Stone Creek HOAs, neon stakes, pierced my fields like daggers. Miranda Hale's invasion was real, and I'd fight back. I gripped my coffee, Mug. Chipped. From Grandpa's days. And walked. My land. Bulldozers. Growled. In the distance. Their tracks. Scarring. My grass. A crew. In orange vests. Hammered. More stakes. Ignoring. My no trespassing. Sign. Stop. I yelled. Striding. Toward them. My boots. Kicking. Dust. A foreman. Stocky. Smirked. HOA. Orders. Pale. Whose land is this? I asked. Voice. Steel. He shrugged. Talk. To Miranda. My fists tightened, but I turned away. Camera. In hand. Snapping. Their faces. Their machines. Their stakes. Allison West's. Flash drive. Burned. In my pocket. Proof. Of Miranda's. Fraud. But I needed more. I drove. To Tom Carver's office. A small brick building. Cluttered. With law books. Tom. Gray hair. Wire glasses. Frowned. At the drives. Files. Elias. He said. Slow. Miranda's. Bribed. County clerks. Faked. Zoning votes. This is big, but dangerous. I nodded. What's next? He tapped. A paper. Get. Surveyor. Records. And watch. You're back. At the county office. A clerk. Young. Nervous. Handed. Me survey maps. After. A long wait. My lands. Borders. Clear. Since 1923, were redrawn. In red ink. Swallowing. My ranch. Into Stone Creek's. Grid. Who? Approved. This? I asked. Voice. Low. She glanced. Around. Whispering. Miranda's. Friend. On the council. My jaw clenched. Back home. I spread. The maps. On my kitchen table. Allison's. Emails. Open. On my laptop. One read. Thorns. Address. Void. Send. Notices. Anyway. Another. To a developer. AIRBNB Cottages. Will triple. Profits. My ranch. Their cash cow. I called. Allison. Her voice. Tense. At Rusty's Diner. Meet. Me. Tonight. She said. I've got. More. Night fell. Stars. Sharp. Above. My ranch. At the diner. Allison. Navy blazer. Dark circles. Under her eyes. Slid. Into my booth. Miranda's. Rushing. Construction. She whispered. Handing. Me a folder. No permits. Shoddy materials. Bribed. Inspectors. I flipped. Through. Photos. Of thin wood. Exposed wires. Pipes. Misaligned. This won't stand, I said. Voice. Hard. Why? So fast? I asked. Leaning. Closer. Allison's eyes darted. To the door. She knows. You're digging. Wants. Cottages. Before. You sue. My pulse. Raced. What's her endgame? Allison sighed. Sell. Bookings. Then claim. Adverse possession. Saying. Your land was unused. I laughed. Cold. My land breathes history. I drove home. Reservoir glinting under moonlight. Grandpa's dam sturdy held secrets. Spillway I'd tweaked for years. My engineers mind spun water as a weapon, but not yet. I needed proof to bury Miranda legally. First, my phone buzzed. A text. Unknown. Back. Off. Or regret. Hit my blood. Chilled. Next morning, a violation notice was nailed to my gate. 500 fine for unapproved fencing. My fence, built by Grandpa 60 years ago. I tore it down, fury rising at the feed store. Whispers spread, thorns fighting, a losing war. I bought wire for cameras, nodding, polite to stares. Miranda's lies were spreading. I rigged trail cams around my fields, hidden in oaks, catching crews, pouring foundations, no rebar, no permits. One cam caught Miranda in her SUV, handing an envelope to a county suit. Bribes on tape. I backed up the footage to a cloud, safe from her reach. Allison texted, check the creek there, rerouting it. I hiked to Sweet Creek, its flow vital to my reservoir. Pipes diverted its water to Stone Creek's lots, weakening my dam. My heart sank. They didn't just want my land. They'd kill its pulse. I snapped photos, pipes, mud, proof of sabotage. My plan sharpened. Water would be my ally. At dusk, I stood by the dam, wind whispering through pines. Miranda thought stakes and lies would break me. She didn't know my ranch, my roots, my resolve. Allison's proof, my cams, my water were ready. The cottages would rise, but I drown. Her greed. Grandpa's voice echoed, hold the land, Elias. I would, and win. Moonlight spilled over my ranch, in Ranch, Texas. My 50 acres, scarred by Stone Creek HOA's greed. I sat in my kitchen, laptop glowing with Miranda Hale's lies. Her Airbnb cottages rose on my land, but I'd weave her web of deceit into her downfall. My trail cams blinked in the oaks, catching crews, pouring shoddy foundations, no permits, no shame. Allison West's flash drive burned with proof, emails, bribes, fake maps, but I needed more to crush Miranda's empire. Her stakes, her bulldozers, mocked my grandpa's legacy. Amos Thorne's dam, humming with power beyond her grasp. I pored over Allison's files, midnight, coffee, bitter, in my mug, an email to a counselor, push, the zoning, $100,000, yours, another, to a developer, thorns, land, Airbnb, millions, secured, my ranch, their pawn, in a game of theft, my fingers, traced, grandpa's, deed, framed, on my wall, since 1923, not yours, I whispered. To the dark, Allison met at a truck stop, dawn, gray, air heavy, she, navy coat, eyes, sharp, slid, a new folder, across the table, Miranda's, network, she said, voice, low, county clerks, inspectors, even a judge. I flipped through bank records, offshore accounts, $2 million, funneled through shell companies. My blood boiled. How deep? I asked, leaning in. Deep, she said, glancing at the lot. She's done that to 6 other ranches since 2015. Forged notices, void addresses, your land. Her biggest score. I gripped the folder, knuckles, white. Why? Me. Allison's eyes softened. Your dam, your water, makes it prime for her Airbnb resort. My mind raced. Water, my weapon. I drove to the county archives. Dust, thick, on old ledgers. A clerk, old, wary, flipped, me zoning, records, after, hours, my ranch, untouched, by HOA, until, a vote, last year, minutes, missing, Miranda's, work, I muttered, snapping, photos, my phone, buzzing, a text, unknown, stop, digging, or lose, everything, my pulse, hammered, back home, I checked, my cam, footage, chilling, Miranda, in her black SUV, met a man, suit, sleek, at my creek, she handed, cash, he nodded, they rerouted, Sweet Creek, again, starving, my reservoir, I saved, the clip, cloud, secure, my dam, groaned, under strain, spillway, valves, whispering, revenge, I called, Tom Carver, my lawyer, voice, tense, Elias, he said, this is racketeering, FBI, might, listen, but Miranda's connected, I nodded, get me a meeting, he sighed, careful, they play, dirty, I hung, staring, at my dam, through the window, Grandpa's, stone, held, firm, but cracks, widened, from neglect and sabotage. Allison texted, meet, at the creek, midnight, I grabbed, my flashlight, boots, silent, on the trail. She stood by Sweet Creek, Jeans. Hoodie. Pointing. At pipes. Diverting. Water. There. Killing. Your dam, she whispered, handing me a recorder. I taped Miranda, bragging to her developer about your land. My heart surged. The tape hissed. Miranda's voice, smug, thorns, a nobody, his dam, an eyesore. Cottages will sell by summer. Water rights, ours. I clenched the recorder, fury rising. She's wrong, I said, voice low. Allison nodded. We've got enough for court, but she'll fight. Dirty. I smirked. Let her try. I walked my fields. Dawn. Breaking. Cottages. Half built. Cheap wood. Warping. Pipes. Leaking. Neighbors. At the feed store. Whispered. Thorns. Done. Miranda's. Too strong. I bought batteries for my cams, ignoring their pity. My plan grew. Water. Proof. Patience. Miranda thought I'd fold. She didn't. No. My roots. At home. I mapped her network on a board. Pins. For clerks. Counselors. Judges. Allison's. Bank records. Showed $5,000 to a judge. Last month, my reservoir shimmered outside its spillway, ready if I chose to act. I wouldn't yet, but the thought warmed me. Grandpa's voice echoed. Water. Shapes. The land. Elias. A notice. Arrived. Nailed. To my porch. $1,000 fine. For environmental neglect. My dam. Blamed. For their flooding. Lots. I laughed. Cold. Tearing it down. Miranda's. Lies. Piled. High. But my cams. My tapes. My maps. Piled. Higher. Her web was vast, but brittle. I'd break it with truth and time. I stood by the dam. Dusk. Settling. Wind. Through pines. Miranda's. Cottages. Loomed. Shadows. On my fields. Her greed. Her bribes. Her theft. Would drown. In my pool. I touched the spillway valve. Cool. Under my fingers. Not yet, I whispered. To the water. The war raged. But I'd win. For Grandpa. For my ranch. Rain pounded my ranch. In Ranch, Texas. Clouds. Black. Angry. I stood by Grandpa Amos's dam. My 50 acres. Bleeding. Under Stone Creek HOA's. Greed. Miranda Hales. 120. AIRBNB Cottages. Stood. Mocking. My land. Tonight, I'd drown. Her lies. In my pool. My trail cams. Glowed. With proof. Shoddy cottages. Bribes. Rerouted creeks. Allison West's. Files. Burned. With Miranda's. Fraud. Emails. Bank transfers. Forged maps. My board. Mapped. Her web, clerks, counselors, a judge, but proof wasn't enough. Water, my dams, spillway, would speak louder than words. I met Allison at dawn, truck stop, mud on her boots. She, hoodie, fierce eyes, handed me a tape. Miranda's latest, she whispered, voice tight. She's selling bookings to tourists already. The tape hissed. Miranda's smug tone. Thorns done. His land, ours. By summer, my fists clenched. Not yet, I growled. Tom Carver, my lawyer, called. Voice urgent. Elias, FBI's interested. Your evidence is gold. But Miranda's rushing. Closings to lock the land. I nodded, staring at my dam through rain-streaked windows. I'm ready, I said, heart steady. The spillway, valves, cool, under my hands, waited. I walked. My fields, noon, rain, soaking. My flannel, cottages, loomed, half-built, wood, warping, pipes, bursting, workers, scrambled, patching, leaks, cursing, the mud. I snapped. Photos, foundations, cracking, proof of their haste. A foreman yelled, get lost. Thorn. He smiled. Cold. This is my land. Allison texted. Miranda's at her mansion. Panicking. Flooding. Lots. I drove. Past. Her estate. Columns. Faux stone. Her SUV. Parked. Crooked. She stood on her porch, screaming into her phone. Pearls glinting in the storm. My dam groaned miles away. Pressure building from rerouted creeks. I met Tom at his office. Dusk. Rain drumming. The roof. Elias, he said. Glasses. Fogged. Whitmore versus Henderson, 1896, says, structures on your land are yours if built without consent. I grinned. So, her cottages are mine. He nodded, and no permits means no legal rentals. My plan sharpened. At midnight, I stood by the dam, wind howling, rain stinging my face. The spillway, valve, heavy, turned with a groan. Water surged, slow, then fierce, rushing through my fields. I watched from a ridge, heart pounding, as the flood hit. Miranda's grid, cottages, tilted, walls, collapsed, cheap wood, dissolving into mud. Lights flickered in Stone Creek. Screams echoed as tourists fled, soaked, confused. Foundations sank, pipes burst, sending geysers skyward. Miranda's mansion held a moment, her silhouette frantic on the porch. Then water roared, liquefying her lawn, columns snapping like twigs. Her empire drowned. In hours, I stood dry on the ridge, thermos in hand, guilt fleeting, justice roaring louder. My cams recorded everything. Flood, cottages, Mirandas, fall, sirens, wailed, too late. Emergency crews, helpless, against nature's wrath. I died. Warned, filed, notices, sent, emails, all ignored. Legally, I was clear. Allison called, voice shaking with awe. Elias, it's gone. All 120 cottages underwater. I nodded. Meet me at Tom's. Dawn. I drove home. Reservoir. Now a lake shimmering under stars. My ranch, scarred, but free, hummed with victory. Grandpa's dam stood proud, its work done. At Tom's office, sunrise. Allison in jeans, Tom in a suit, poured over my footage. This is dynamite, Tom said, eyes wide, with Allison's tapes and Whitmore. Will bury Miranda. Allison grinned. She's facing fraud, racketeering. Already, I leaned back, and the cottages, mine. Now, I called a town meeting, noon, all angry, buyers, locals, glaring. Miranda stole my land, I said, calm. Projector showing emails, footage, bribes. Her cottages broke the law. Whitmore, 1896. There, mine. Gasps. Rose. Allison stood. Miranda's. Arrested. This morning. FBI's. Got. Her. Cheers. Erupted. Miranda's. Web. Unraveled. Her judge. Resigned. Counselors. Fled. My lake. Once. Her grid. Sparkled. A natural. Pool. I wouldn't. Bulldoze. The ruins. Too costly. Instead, I'd build. Docks. Trails. A new dream. Grandpa's voice echoed. Water. Winds. Elias. I smiled. My war. Nearly won. Sunlight. Danced. On my new lake. In Ranch. Texas. My 50 acres. Reborn. Stone Creek HOAs. 120 AIRBNB cottages. Lay. Shattered. Beneath. My pool. A shimmering triumph. Miranda hails. Greed. Drowned. And I'd built a future from her. Ruins. The flood. My spillways. Roar. Had swept away. Miranda's empire. Weeks ago. Her cottages. Cheap wood. And lies. Sank. Into mud. Now a lake. Sparkling. Under. Texas sky. My trail cams. Allison West's. Tapes. and Tom Carver's. Law had sealed her fate. Miranda, in cuffs, faced fraud, racketeering. Her smirk gone. My ranch breathed free. I walked the shore, boots crunching, gravel, wildflowers sprouting where stakes once stood. The lake, Thorn's Pool, drew kayakers, families, tourists. By spring, I'd built docks, trails, eco lodges, low wood, blending with the land. No bulldozers, no greed. Grandpa's, damn, now a draw. Its plaque, gleaming, built by Amos, guarded by Elias. Allison, now a lawyer, met me at a lodge. Her suit swapped for jeans, eyes bright. You did it, she said, handing me a newspaper. Miranda's sentenced 15 years. Accounts seized. I nodded, sipping coffee. Chipped mug, Grandpa's old one. And the buyers, I asked. Voice calm. Refunded, she said. Your suit against her developers. 1. Tom Carver. Called. Voice warm. Elias. The HOAs dissolved, sued to dust. Your lakes legal. Whitmore. 1896. Holds. I smiled. What's next? He chuckled. Live your dream. I hung up, staring at the water. Families laughing, paddling under pines. My dream was here. The town, once split, rallied around my pool. Neighbors who'd whispered, Thorns done, now brought kids to swim at the feed store. Old timers clapped my back. You showed her. I bought seeds for wildflowers, nodding to their grins. Miranda's name, a curse, faded from ranch, Texas. I hired locals for the lodges, cooks, guides, cleaners, jobs. She'd promised, but never gave. Sarah, a waitress, led kayak tours. Her smile, brighter than the lake. This beats her cottages, she said, paddling past ruins, half sunk in reeds. I laughed. It's home. My ranch hummed, alive again. Allison started a firm fighting HOA fraud. Her office in town, busy with clients. You inspired me, she said, at a barbecue. Smoke curling from grills. I shrugged. You dug the dirt. She grinned. Team effort. We clinked bottles. The lake reflecting. Stars. Deer grazing nearby. Miranda's mansion abandoned. Crumbled under vines. Her pearls sold at auction. Word spread. She'd moved, broke, shamed, to a nowhere town. I felt no pity. She'd stolen from families, from me. from Grandpa's land, her web of lies, caught only her. I scaled my engineering job part-time, ran the resort with care, the lake cleaned by nature, filtered through my dam, drew birds, fish, life. Experts called it ecological gold, a model for ranches reborn. I hosted school trips, kids wide-eyed, learning, water, land, legacy. One dusk, I sat by the dam, coffee warm in my hands. A family waved from a dock, their laughter carrying over water. My cams now watched for poachers, not thieves. Allison's tapes locked in a vault. Tom's papers filed, secure. The fight was over. The land mine forever. I touched the dam's stone, cool under my fingers. Grandpa's voice echoed, soft. You held it, Elias. He smiled, eyes on the lake, its ripples catching the sunset. Miranda's greed built my pool, my truth kept my rant. The water shimmered, wildflowers swayed, the air clean, free. Tourists came daily, drawn by the story. HOA's fall, my rise. Thorn's pool wasn't just a lake. It was justice. Wet, wild, eternal. I stood tall, my roots deep in Ranch, Texas. My home, my victory, complete.